Hi everyone, welcome back. Today I am here with another interesting topic. If you were wondering whether you can integrate your Flutter application or a Flutter package with your already existing native Android or iOS app, whether you can do it or not. Yes, you can do it. So the scenario is, if you have a native Android application already have written, now you want to try Flutter for your new feature, or you want to upgrade or migrate to Flutter gradually. So you try to implement new features in Flutter and want to try whether Flutter can be integrated with your existing Android app or not. That's the thing I'm going to show you today. So if you look at the graph on the left side, this one is native Android or iOS app, and the right side, this one is Flutter. You need to have a wrapper or a glue between this Android app and your Flutter module or Flutter plugin. So we take this wrapper and we take this wrapper and we put this wrapper in between the Flutter plugin or package or app you already have, and between the native Android app that you have. So the flow will somewhat looks like this. So the Flutter wrapper and your Flutter package is one component, and your native Android application is another component. So you integrate this wrapper with your already existing native Android app, and this wrapper will have access to Dart files, a pub spec, so you can integrate your library, or you can even write your Flutter code inside this wrapper if you don't want to segregate into another Flutter package or plugin. So let's dive on the code. For the first part, I have this simple Flutter plugin I created. So this one gets the device details through a method channel from the native code. So if you don't have any previous experience on working with native method channels, I'll drop a link of my video that I made previously about how to create a method channel and get data from native. So you can go there and watch the video, then you can come back or you can follow along. So our app is run already. As you can see, we have this device details button. This one is in Flutter. So I press this button. This app calls a native method channel from get device details, and it gets this data from the native side. So I will not be diving into details on this because that's not the objective of today's video. So this is the plugin I have, and if I may show you, I'll have an Android application. I have an Android application. So if I quickly walk you through the code, this is a basic Android app using Jetpack Compose. So I have this main activity. This main activity only has say home content composable, and when this button is clicked, it launches a Flutter embedding activity. So let's try to run that. It's run. So this part, this text and this button is all in native. This home content composable, this button text. So when I press this button, it launches this Flutter embedding activity, and here we have our Flutter plugin that we have seen earlier. So if I press this button here, it gets the device information and displays successfully. So this part is in Flutter. Now how do we do that? You can execute this command, this flutter create template module organization and other configuration, or you can create this glue module using Android Studio create module. So this will this command will give you a module with this structure. So you have a spec.yml to specify dependency and other configuration, and you have this main.dot. Yeah, so here you can write your Flutter code, or you can have your Flutter package consumed here. So for our case, for the Flutter plugin I have displayed earlier, I'm consuming this one as a dependency in pubspec.yml. Yep. So that in my main.dart I can just have this Flutter module home screen. Yeah, it has this app bar, it has this device details screen. So this screen is a part of this plugin. Yeah. Now there is one thing different, which is Android and iOS folder. In a regular Flutter application, this folder will not have a dot in front of them, but in this module's case we have a dot, and this is a Flutter module template, it's not a Flutter application. Yep. So this module we can integrate in our native Android code base. How we do that? If you expand this .android folder, there's some files we have. The most important one that we need is include flutter.groovy. So this groovy file, this configuration is responsible for loading the Flutter SDK and applying the properties. And you go here, open your project in Android project, you open the build.gradle of the app level build.gradle, then write these lines. So these are the ABI that Flutter currently supports. So you need to specify it here, then write this line. So we will be basically implementing a Flutter module. The module name is Flutter, although visibly we see different. So this is one of the limitation of Flutter module. So we cannot have multiple implementation, although you can create multiple modules by running that command I have shared you earlier. So this line is needed here, and on the outside project level build.gradle. Now we don't need anything here in the settings.gradle. So these 4 lines are the most important part. So we are getting the file path of the include flutter.groovy in our Flutter module inside this Android directory. So you get the file path, then yeah, that's it. Another important thing you need to do is to this repository mode. This one by default is set to prefer project, but if you set it to prefer project, then Flutter configuration will not load. So you need to make sure this value is set to prefer settings. Yeah, all right. So you do this, you have this build.gradle set up. Now if you sync your build.gradle, yeah, if you sync your build.gradle, it will download all the Flutter dependency and have this Flutter Activity, Flutter Fragment available for you to use. So what I'm doing here is I created a dummy activity, Flutter Embedding activity, which extends Flutter Activity, and from the main activity and the button click, I'm just starting an intent and launching this embedding activity. Now you also need to register that this new activity, because this is a native one. Yeah, so it's possible to integrate this Flutter component using a Flutter view. So with Flutter view, if you already have a view hierarchy, you can integrate this Flutter view directly inside your view hierarchy, or if you want to integrate Flutter Fragment, you can also do that. So today I'll not be diving deep into all the details of the implementation. If you would like to know more, let me know in the comments and I'll make a video of this one. See you.